Getting a licensing company interested in licensing your invention requires you to demonstrate how your product is meaningfully different and dramatically better than all the competition. But they also have to believe that the product, when it's made, will do the job that you say it will. Well, today I'm going to show you the 5 tools that inventors use to include with your sell sheet when you're pitching your invention for license. Get your notebook out and take notes because this is some really good information. And if you're just visiting for the first time, please like and subscribe to my channel. It's a free way to support me. And when you hit the notification bell, you'll be the first to know when I've posted a new video each and every week. So there are 5 tools, as I mentioned, beginning with number 1, illustrations. Now, hiring an illustrator is easy. You can find someone on Fiverr, or maybe you have a friend that's a good artist. These are fine when you have a very simple product and an art drawing is enough to effectively communicate to the company that it will do the job that you say. So they want to see, when they see your sell sheet, that not only have you fleshed out a problem that's a big enough pain point for enough people that it's worth being in the business on your type of product, but they also need to believe that it will work when it's manufactured. As long as it's simple, a simple illustration will get that job done. My second tool for you is computer generated photos. Now, you don't have to hire an engineer to do a computer rendering of a photo, for example. They look very real. In fact, the CO2 airbrush that I invented and licensed, I used it along with this working model to demonstrate that it would work, and this art demonstrated how pretty it could be in production. And the next tool is very similar, only animation. So using computer graphics, you can create a 3D prototype with a photo or with an animation to illustrate all of the features and functionality. Again, this is very helpful if you want to demonstrate it being used, if you want to demonstrate a cross-section and what would be in the inside, if there are certain features about it that you want to call out, you can blow them up in the animation and then go back to the smaller version. There's a lot of things that you can do with animation. There's not a huge difference between whether to use a 3D photo or to use a 3D animation, except to say this: it is still often done by a illustrator, somebody who has the computer graphics, computer design type experience, but it's not the same thing as hiring an engineer because it will not flush out all of the mechanical work necessary to ultimately manufacture and produce that product. So once again, if your product is easy to understand from the video or the photo, then you can just use that, but you may still need to do a working model to demonstrate that it actually will work when it's built. So my 4th tool for you is working models. Now, you can do working models or non-working models, but obviously in this case, if we're going to graduate from just using illustrations or computer-generated photos or animations, then you might as well create a working model similar to what I demonstrated earlier. I had the working model and I had the 3D computer generated photos to ultimately package together a believable story for the prospective licensee to ultimately do the business with me. If you'd like to learn more about how to create your own fast and even free working models or prototypes in some cases, check out this video. I go into great detail on how you can cut some corners, save a bunch of time, and do this right in your own home with often off-the-shelf parts. Now listen, I can't stress enough how important I think it is to always have a working model. A working model is going to demonstrate for the company, obviously, that it works, but it also is more engaging and it shows them that you fleshed out all of the details of that idea. And it's going to make you a better inventor because in that process, that research and development process, you're going to get smarter about what those features and benefits are, why it needs to be made that way, and then you will effectively communicate that when you have your sales presentation with a prospective licensee. It's a lot easier for me to walk into a company and explain to them why this is good and why I chose to make it the way that it's being made for the purpose that it's going to be used when I've actually made one myself and fleshed out all those details. So if they come back at me with an objection, I can say, actually, I tried that, and here's why that doesn't work. So working models are always going to be an inventor's best friend. And it's where I would like you to start when you have an idea, instead of just jumping into getting a patent and ultimately trying to get it licensed. Build something that you believe in, and that confidence will absolutely overflow from you to the companies when you're pitching it later. And finally, you have prototypes. Now, prototypes are different from working models because, by definition, a prototype is everything that it will look and feel like when it actually goes to market. So, prototypes are often the last step and not going to be done by inventors because it's the last step just before mass production. A company may ask for a hand sample or the very first product that comes off the line when they go into production, so that they can do the quality assurance and necessary checks before they obviously roll it out for all of the consumers to use. But it's really important to understand that it's very expensive, and it's not something that is absolutely necessary. And unless you have deep pockets and you're prepared to go down that path, it may just be extra time and money that you don't have to spend. So I personally don't ever do prototypes. I always do working models, and it's often in combination, in tandem with these 3D computer generated photos and or animations to help really tie that story up in a bow. So virtual prototypes are not going to be helpful, and I need you to hear me say this. They are not going to be helpful for you when you have something complicated that would require a company to ask the question, can it be made? If it's really simple, you can use a virtual prototype, that 3D photo or that 3D animation, every single time. And as long as you can qualify which one you're using and why, you'll make a good business decision and you'll be in the ready position for your own success. I hope this has helped you understand how to be smarter about how you run your invention business. And if you have any questions, please, like I said earlier, drop them in the comments below. I read and answer every single one of them. Or you can book a free strategy call with me using the link in the description below. I wish you all much success. Dare to dream and imagine what's possible when powered by innovation.